Greetings everyone, and great here for another Age Mythology Replay. Spawn bottom left side as a blue Oranos. We got Kananar Mako. Spawn top right side as the red... Is that Hades? Yes. As red Hades, we got DLoudness with a lowercase o. Of course, when it comes to these gods, Oranos is the vision mobility major god. So it's going to use build new sky passages per age. Can use sky passages. Units have additional line of sight. Oracles generate plus 25 favor at full line of sight, making it very nice for favor generation. And damage units remain visible for plus 25 seconds. So biggest aspect is, of course, the sky passages. Additionally, he does have his unique upgrade, increase infantry speed by 10%, which compounded with weightless maces for hero catapultists to make them move absurdly fast, like 5.8. Of course, Hades is a common major god for the Greeks. Rain soldiers and buildings. Get some shades to throw some shade at your opponents. Mythians generate hit points. Rain soldiers get additional 1 range and line of sight. Rain fortifications has 2 range, and Bloodsticks and Burning Pitch are instantly free. Get research instantly for free at the respective ages. His unique technology is the Vault of Erebus, giving you 2 gold per second trickle. Very nice. Let's see now. Hades tends to follow a pretty big trend of range units. I'm more biased towards Ares because of the Bow of Horde to give them additional 10% damage on the Toxays. And early high passes could be quite nice versus a lot of civilizations, honestly, because they're a counter infantry unit there. And also, I do like the Phobos Spear of Panic as well, giving the Hoplites divine damage, as well as Prodromos, the counter cavalry unit, additional divine damage as well. They do have a times 3.5 multiplier, but should be applied with the divine damage while at it. Not to mention, you get an okay god power, got nerfed from Gold Edition, and a decent myth unit, the Cyclopes. Athena is the more common selection for most players. Restoration is a very good god power. I would rate Restoration higher than Pestilence. Mentor would rate lower than Cyclopes. Additional Pierce Armor could be very nice if you think your opponent's going to go for more range units. Only affects your infantry. And Ceresia makes your hoplites get additional range and damage. Still biased towards Spear of Panic when it comes to sword. Nope, that's my biases. Of course, Oranos will be fighting. Let's see, he is going to be aging up with Ares. Very good. When it comes to Oranos, he's going to be fighting against Hades, which means more range stuff, so pull an eye for counter range. In this case, neither of these two minor gods help fight range units. Carnivore is a nice god power. You get a flying healer, which is always very nice with his mace. Like I said, it was pretty good for improving your counter cavalry units, which both Zeus and Hades still go for Hippus occasionally, so it's a nice upgrade to have. By the Shark, if you're Mormellos and Fanatics plus 5% damage, not great. Get Bleed Effect, which is also not great. 5% is pretty low. I don't really value this upgrade too much. On Heroics makes it cheaper for promoting your infantry units, which is nice, but not really critical. Prometheus is more likely to be the selected one, because Valor is a pretty good god power as well. Promethean, is a cheap one, mostly useful for Kronos, honestly. Not great. And faster research time, not great. Theft of Fire is the main part of Prometheus. Makes your heroic citizens to do their part 20% faster. And let's see, he's going for Oceanus, quite understandable. The Carnivore is a pretty good god power. Both of them are very good. Of the 3 of the minor gods for the Atlanteans, I prefer Leto, which I think is the least selected of the 3 as well. I value the increased Pierce Armor quite nicely, and not to mention I also really value Spider Layers. I think players should really spam that ability out more often. Especially if your opponents will be hyper aggressive for raiding cavalry, or not seeing raiding cavalry as a unit, but as cavalry raiding. It can make some decent landmines. In which 2 of the 3 minor gods for the H2 for the Atlanteans involving summoning something to eat something. Blu-ray. Colossus smacking the Oracle. The Oracle has Wood Trickle relic. That's pretty nice. Ajax is going to try to stop him. The Cyclops will have trouble dealing with the Oracle because he's heroic fine. Sanctified. Maybe no Valorified. Looks like the citizens doing quite good work in being a bit of a meat wizard, turning turkey into turkey, or in this case, chicken into the chicken. Chicken turkey. I do love the fall skin there. It just it changes the turkeys into chicken, or chickens into turkeys, which they did a pretty good job in the model there, which could be something from Age of Empires 3 imported in. And then you also the carcass, instead of just a carcass, it's a cooked turkey. I just love the fun skins like this. Other things with this time of year, it replaced berry bushes with pumpkins, which are a gourd, not a berry. But still, good enough. Just having fun. Got sentinels here. Deployed out here. Didn't need to do that. Wait until your opponent's actually raiding, then you could summon it. You know as well, it's good to protect yourself from raiding, not against armies. Sentinels, they don't have much health to them. They're not much meat on the bones, because they're made out of stone, and they don't have any bones. Claudra taking a bit of damage there. Ajax having trouble hitting the Claudra with his spears. Another claim, increase the range damage of ranged soldiers and heroes. This should more collectively applied to Atlanteans, because the Atlantean heroes are both classified as a ranged soldier and hero. Generally, that's how that works for Atlanteans. Though, if the upgrade applied is like either rather than separately applied, there's also some coding things where not necessarily the case. If one action is looking for either, then apply it once. If it has two separate actions, one looking for one looking for either, it will both apply. If that makes any poor sense. Marmello is spreading out trying to find the villager, but he has already evacuated out of the region. Very nice. We got some goats here. Goats, of course, the goat. Blue has obtained 8 goats. Red has obtained... looks like 9, but is eating one pretty early. Does has husbandry, but eating it maybe way too early in my opinion. Eat the turkeys first. Or chickens. The giant chickens. Medium infantry, medium marmellos being researched. Since we got a bit of eco phase, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit there. When it comes to the next possible age up, we do have the poison bow here, bite of the shark, copper upgrades. Let's see. Thea or Hyperion. Hyperion does improve all your oracles for more favor generation, which goes quite nicely for Oranos for favor generation. Heroic heroes nice. Heroes increase hit points and of course additional and give them health regen. And of course satyrs are not a bad myth unit. They're just a solid backline one. Whoops. Sorry I missed this. We do have these marmellos 4. They do find the sentinels. 3 of them are currently firing. 1 be quickly picked on off. Not much health to stay alive. And the Claudra is keeping some of these units quite alive. And these are also classified as structures and not as myth units. Yeah, it's being quickly picked on off. Like I said, they're meant to be anti-raiding tool, not an anti-army tool. This is getting to the point where it's more close to army, but still a bit of a raid. 38 versus 40 civilians to do their part. Now Imperial speed increase infantry movement speed by 10%.
Usually.
Nice little enter and exit there. Did it with the Mormello as well. Very nice. Took some damage there, but keeps it alive, which means it will do more than just nothing and become a corpse in the ground. Let's see. Other one is Thea. So, yeah, good for favor generation and heroes. They, of course, give you Hesperides trees, will give you Dryads, which takes their gimmick is 0 population. Symphony Bird is a simple early flyer. Contaneris increase their damage by 50%. Percentage is fighting against Hades, who's more likely to get out Toxates and other ranged units. This could be a better path, given improving your cavalry to counter them, and reduce the cost of cavalry as well. So Thea is a good option as well. Chaos is a good god power. Hesperides is a good god power. Hard to say which one he should go for. Atlantean are not really confined to any specific unit. And since Oranos is not really improving these units, he also hasn't got any building sky passages, strangely enough. He's going for mass heroes here. Cyclops throws a guy there. Getting a bit of damage on everything. Good number of Claudra here. Maybe a little bit too many Claudras for healing, but they are getting some good healing done. Toxae is a good backline there. Since Marmels have low Pierce armor, Toxaes are a good counter to this situation. You have Apollo being researched, which is probably the better of the two gods for Ares. You gotta go for Aphrodite or Apollo. Apollo improves all ranged units with the Sun Arrow, which improves Toxates, Peltas, and Manticore damage and Myth units damage. Manticore, like I said, is a good Myth unit. I really do like the Manticore. It's a good, solid backline Myth unit. Bit more expensive side, but it just throw quills all the time and does decent work. 11 damage times 3. Carnivore summon does shockwave the Toxates, which stuns them. Eats one of those Toxates with the Carnivore. Looks like the Manticore will get overran by the heroic Marmelos. Heroes are quite common when fighting against Atlanteans, so going for mass units is not that great, and especially if you do, better go for ranged ones to avoid much of the frontline damage. So Manticore will probably be a bit more in his favor. Other options later on would be Chimera or Colossus, neither of which I don't think would be great. More Collage in the build queue. A little bit too many. There's already 4 here. I think you just cancel them, because I don't think 7 would be great. Carnivore will go down. Saved a good number of villagers there. Chiron being queued on up. Has access to the Underworld Pass with excellent god power. Scout is down, which is honestly sort of surprising that the Scout stayed alive this long. Not big surprise. We now have Thea being researched. Will give access to Dryad and Symphony Bird. Yep, I think Contaneris would be a great call. Bobo Spear Panic being queued on up. Against Marmelos, it'd be okay, since it'll be equal footing for Hoplites versus Marmelos, roughly. But would be very nice for the Prodromos if this one does go for Thea, which he is, and will go for, and can go for Prodromos to counter the Contaneris. You now have Fortress being established here. Ares or Hades is very far away from aging up. Of course, Poseidon's also far from aging up, but also is aging up. Heavy infantry queued on up. Here's economic tax. Symphilian Bird now deployed on the field. When I say upon the field, I mean above the field. Hesperides free deployed out here. Get 2 free Dryads. They cost no faith and no population. They're just cheap ball of stats, which is always nice to have. Vault of Erebus now being queued on up as well. That's something you probably would see a bit earlier, but either way, you will now have his gold trickle. Oh, Underworld Passage. Over here, finds citizens. Shockwaves protect the citizens. Takes out one of the citizens. Has some Hypastis. Carnivore here. Chiron could take time to finish off the Carnivore. Does pick off one of the Caladria. Red's going to back off to the Underworld Passage. Pegasus there was, of course, meant for spotting. Number of farms here. Basic walls over here as well. Blue's gone for this town center. This town center is still pretty safe in the sphere of influence. Sky Passage here. Cooking some delicious Pumbaa. Ares is about to age up. He has all the prerequisites, I believe. Agent for Hepatis. I think honestly, Artemis may have been a little bit better. Got attack. Yep, attack going. Artemis would give access to additional damage for all range units, though. Hepatis will improve his damage for his unique crossbowman. Mass heroics here.
Real close.
Looks like Blue's trying to be a hero. I think the people should go for unique crossbow a little bit more. Don't go for additional sentinels there. It's meant to stop raids as an army. Contenaris and Dryads being summoned. Definitely get out Prodromos against all the cavalry that's been coming out. Hoplites could be used to mix on in. Prodromos be a bit more designated counter. Though again, the Prodromos is a Dark Age. Or for more Prodromos and Hoplites, getting some counter cavalry units there, both flavors. Yeah, the Dark Age version is a little bit on the weak side, though it does have +1 divine damage, of course. Sentinels did actually protect him from those various outlying units there. And I suppose with Hades does get free ballistics, which is nice. So it's putting tracking rate to 99, everything else gets 3. What exactly tracking rate, how exactly it's calculated, no idea. Prophetic Sight, increasing favor generation. Walls being established next to the walls, and also obtain this town center. Got odd amount of favor here, so one of those relics that Blue picked up must provide additional population per town center. Obtained 5 relics. Of wood, house hit points, Eye of Horus. There's the town center population increase. Here's Hercules and hero speed. His weightless mesa Calpeltus will be even greater. Both players have stone walls researched. Greatly improving durability. I think it was like 500 to, in this case, 1,320. A usable amount of health rather than a roadblock. Who's going for some destroyers? Very nice. Which are they themselves are more or less a counter range unit, just because they have high pierce armor. And a number of them heroic fight as well. Who's Red's advancing through this location as well. Another carnivore is summoned. Both sides are forfeiting a town center. Red's trying to build a forward fortress here. He is going for a unique crossbowman variant. Here we have it. With free incendiary arrows, has times 23 multiplier versus structures, which is does make a noticeable impact. Attack speed's a little bit slow, of course. Base damage is 9.4. Of course, right now they're just only heavy. Decent all-around range support unit in general. You don't need too many on the field, just enough to help hit structures. Takes the fortress there. Fortress goes down. Pestilence being summoned. Rogers Infinite Bird flying over here now. More patrols being flown on the field. Still Dark Age variant. He sees the destroyers, so he sees more medals. You also see the containers. And looks like Oranos going to be aging up with Hecate, give access to Lampades, a very fun myth unit in my opinion. And of course, you get a very fun Godfather in the Tartarn Gate. Who's now building another town center. These guys do have 24 range, is one of the biggest aspects. Huh, did they always... I don't know why, it seems like the animation seems a little bit different. A little bit weird though, it's like they have no grasp of the crossbow. The way town center does get interrupted and just slowly being whittled down. And thanks to the Colossus or Hepatus upgrade, he gets bonus damage multiplier against myth units. Going for Healing Temple, Iron upgrade, no champion range, or medium cavalry. Those wouldn't be necessarily cost efficient right now until he gets max of population. Hesperides tree now deployed on the field. Achilles does go down here. As you have now these strides push forward. Looks like the tree gets turned to stone. Shade will go down. Haven't seen too many shades on the field, have we? Yeah, but we haven't really heard them being summoned all too much. Now a fire side from the build queue. We also got draft horses going for champion upgrades here. Donkey caravans, guard towers, hoplites. Hit this. We do have now the champion breed soldiers. We do have Tartarn Gate summoned out somewhere. I have no idea where though. Right here. But it's way too close to everything. You want to put the Tartarn Gate on the back line to interrupt trade in my opinion rather than use the front line. Because it's ultimately just doing nothing other than being a distraction. That was a really bad Tartarn Gate. Still a good number of Tartarn spawn here though. How you should use a Tartarn Gate in my opinion is big fight going on. You see where your opponent's trade is in the back line. Plop it down where the trade is at, and just you want to use the constantly denied trade. Or just somewhere in the back line where it hits villagers. I say there's a big farming complex. It's an anti-civilian tool, to say the least. Sky Patch does go down. Trucks are slowly being picked off by the crossbowmen. Got a good number of Hesperides trees. If Red's able to obtain the Hesperides trees, then he can summon out his own dryads. Red has obtained a Hesperides tree. Red is not yet queued up any Hesperides trees or any dryads. Blue does re-obtain it. With another fortress here. Who's now trying to build this town sort of here. Does have a watchtower nearby. Those are trying to shank the citizens. Blue's army has been resummoned over here. Blue has a sizable army here, though it's largely inflated by the Dryads, which are a nice unit, but not a great unit. Carnivore, of course, got some here as well. Fire Siphons firing away. Reds are now not doing too much at the moment. Probably a good idea from Sable's Fate for more of the Ponty Vaults. 8 villagers is the soft cap on favor generation. Looks like another Dryad gets turned to stone. Military academy is being established now. Carnivore is getting shot. Perseus should just take time, or Chiron's going to take out the Carnivore. Citizens push away forward. Got some llama caravans here. Llamas tend to only cause nothing but drama. Towns that are being obtained immediately gets picked off by the crossbowmen. Trying to rebuild that town center now. These are the fortress there. We got a Lampades here. Medium Prodromos now pulling a few. This one does not have it does have a good amount of cavalry, so Prodromos wouldn't be half bad. Hoplites wouldn't be half bad in general as well. There's a good number of Dryads here, that's for sure. Unless they've been saying his favor, just get out more Hispanic streets, get more Dryads in the field. To really inflate his numbers. Right now, Blue has more than twice the value on the field than Red. More hoplites, more boiling oil, and more medium hippus. It does feel like Blue's in a great position, that's for sure. He has a good front. He has a nice, durable front line and a good back line of fire sites, and the Caladra is doing some decent work on healing as well. Sadly, there's no heal counter here. Some of these Dryads are getting some good amount of damage done as well. Donkey caravans being intercepted. We have the fortified town centers now. Ares right now does have a good amount of wood and gold. He could have been going for more range units, just something. He has a Phoenix Spirit population, but he's booting nothing at the moment. He's going for Colossus at the moment. But not even Silver Colossus, let alone Gold Colossus. So they get some force in the field. Trying to go for another fortress here. Who's going for some more Momellos? Let's see, the first Colossus upgrade, does that I think that costs wood, right? So you should be able to at least get a Silver Colossus upgrade. First one's wood, second one's gold. So he does have plenty of resources for the Silver Colossus. More Sentinels, it's not a great idea. It's an anti-raiding tool, not an anti-armor tool. Fanatics, of course, deployed in the field as well. Also having trouble connecting, trying to run away. Mythic Rejuvenation gives Myth units additional health regen. In Gold Edition, that also affected Titans. Not sure if it does it in Retold. We also got the Asper Blood here, increasing gives your Lampades ability to turn enemy units into chickens. I wonder if it be chickens or turkeys, the Thanksgiving patch, or skins. Clarity increases range and melee myth units attack speed by 25%, and increase their speed by 10%. Increased attack speed should be pretty nice, particularly for the Dryads. Also can be nice for other units as well. If now that 1.13 attack speed. Increases their DPS to 23.5, whatever it was beforehand. Plus, they are also a little bit lumbering, now they move at 5, which is actually a decent pace. And Red does back the game now. There's Angrade saying, well, thank you for watching, and on to next replay.